asked me what do I call my followers.
Lemon heads. That'd be cute.
Our last name is Lemon.
And you love lemon heads.
And I love lemon heads. So my daughter thinks lemon heads would be a good thing. I gotta cut my other camera on. I just realized I only got one on.
You ain't gotta tell the people everything.
I gotta tell people everything. This is real. This is real. This is real life. But we just had a harvest today. Out in the yard. Got me good sized, decent cabbage. And 2 little cabbages. And got some peppers and some beans. And you know, I had to do some research about the cabbage because we're not gonna eat all this cabbage at one time. So, my camera didn't move up. See there?
You're supposed to yell cut.
I'm not yelling cut nothing. We doing this real talk. So, I had to do some research and I found out that you could actually, there are 2 ways you can do cabbage, fresh cabbage. You can freeze it as is, or you can actually blanch it and freeze it. So I'm gonna blanch my cabbage. But first, let's see if this camera move with me. See? It's just doing what it wanna do. Now I got to yell cut, because I got to make it work. Cut! Okay. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna move again and see if the camera it's not following my face. I don't know why it's not tracking me, which is not good. I think I pushed something and I changed the mode on it. But at any rate, so I'm going to blanch my cabbage and put it in these bags that we have for the freezer. These Mylar. Yeah, it didn't move. These Mylar type bags. And this is going to, you can actually just open it up. It has a machine that you buy separately. You can actually seal it like you do in the store to make your food stay fresh for a little bit longer. I'm gonna put those in the freezer. And so I'll be right back with you. Okay, so I'm back. I got my camera to work. So we harvested all of these bell peppers. All of these jalapeno peppers and chili peppers and stuff. So this came out the yard today. And today is Sunday, the 22nd of December of 2024. And so we got all of these beans, all of these string beans. I got a couple of okra up in there. So we was doing it big today. Real big. We went out there and almost kind of like cleaned up everything we had. And then my little heads of cabbage, which I'm gonna go ahead on and wash up right now. Oh Lord, did I lose something? Felt like it wasn't steady the way it was supposed to be. Imagine that. But before I do that, I actually need to chop them up. I'm trying to put the horse before the cart. And that ain't never a good thing. Come on, camera. Okay. I think I'm moving too fast for my camera, which is funny. Y'all see my Christmas decorations? I'm gonna make my camera move back where I want it at. And we're gonna see what happens. So, let me move my peppers out the way and my peas out the way. And pull out my little cabbages. So I got this one little cute cabbage. And I pulled all the extra leaves and stuff off while I was outside, but I need to go ahead on and pull the rest of them. This one, I cut the top off because the bugs had really started eating the top, and I wanted to see how much cabbage I was actually gonna get. If it was gonna be a lot where the bugs had, you know, infiltrated most of it, then we just would have left it in the garden. And then I got this one right here, and I split this one because again, the bugs had like eaten on the top, the worms and stuff. So I wanted to see how much I had before I actually brought it in. Because if it was a lot, then I was just going to leave it in the garden. It doesn't make sense to bring it in if it's something that we can't use. So let me go ahead on and get to chopping this. Let me move my ice bath out the water. My ice bath out the way, because remember I said I was going to blanch it. So got the big knife. So you're gonna see how this turns out. And I'm gonna be making like little small bags, because for the most part, I'm the only one who eats cooked cabbage. My husband likes coleslaw, so he'll eat cabbage that's, you know, prepared in a coleslaw type fashion. In which case last week, and I have to post that video, we went and got a food processor and I made some chow chow, which is a tomato and a green tomato and a green tomato and a cabbage based relish. And I'll post that video. So, but I know he likes coleslaw. I may just chop some up for coleslaw, because he said, again, you can freeze it as if you're going to use it for coleslaw. So I would say this is one good thing about having the new house and the bigger yard, is that I do get to do things like this. My other camera done cut off. Boy, I tell you, technology is not my thing, even though I was a signal soldier. Okay, are you recording, camera? I think this one missed all the good stuff over here. Okay, now it's recording. I'm gonna need to get me a new crew. My crew done went and sat down, but that's a good thing. So let me go ahead on and finish chopping this up. So we can get all of this washed and bagged up. And like I said, we moved into a new house this year. I normally garden, but we moved in like kind of late into the season, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get a garden started this year. So everything was really like a test. And my philosophy during the whole part of it was, if I get anything out of it, I'll be grateful. Just because of the simple fact I did start late. And so this is the second cabbage I've gotten. And both of them have been really nice size cabbage heads. So this is the second cabbage I've gotten. I've gotten green tomatoes, peppers, peas, okra, radishes. And I don't even eat radish, but we grew it because they said it was good for the soil. But I've gotten my radish out of it. So it's just really been an overall good year. And it's letting me know what I can and what I can't plant, because we don't have any trees in our yard. So everything has to really be focused on what can adapt to the heat. Because of where we're located at, it's a lot of sun. And when I say sun, I mean a lot of sun. And that's okay. That's a good thing. That is a good thing to have. With my leaves that I don't use, I'm gonna, of course, take them back outside, put them back in the garden, in my compost bin, and let them break down and turn into compost. Because everything out of the garden, you should be able to use or reuse once you've gotten your use out of it. So, okay. So this was the second cabbage, and this was just a little one. And I don't want it chopped up too fine, because like I said, this is more or less for when I decide I want some cabbage, or if we do a stir fry, and we do cabbage in our stir fry. So that way we can have fresh cabbage. And even though I don't think cabbage is expensive in the store, it's always nice to have everything, or just to have little staples, I'll call them, on hand for when you want to have it. You know, you come in from work, you necessarily don't want to go run to the grocery store. So you have things already in the freezer. So this is a tiny one. And it has some little worms holes in it. So I'm gonna just go ahead on and peel the leaves, because I don't want to chop the worm up in my food. Just being 100% honest. I know when we get food from the store, there's really no telling what we're getting. But it's always good just to take a look and verify that we're eating what we actually supposed to eat. And given the fact that years ago I would have made a joke and said, oh, well, you know, a worm is just a little extra protein. Probably is. I've probably eaten a million of them in my life and didn't know it, because, again, when you go to the store, you really don't know what you're getting. When you go out to eat, you really don't know what you're getting. You're at the mercy of that producer, or that, you know, that farmer, or that store, that restaurant, or wherever they get their produce from. And this little joker decided it's gonna give me a headache, but it's okay. So yeah, cute, just a cute little cabbage. Go ahead on and chop him up. And one thing that we normally do, and I've said it before, is like food that we don't eat, or if we have an abundance of it, we'll give it away. We had asked for somebody to come by because we actually have some greens that we need to harvest. So we'll wait for them, go out and harvest greens, so that way they can have some fresh greens as well. So what I'm going to do is finish cutting this, but I'm going to take a break from you all for a minute so that I can get everything washed and ready to go. I got my water for me to blanch. It's boiling. Oh, it's not a roaring boil yet, but I got it behind me on the stove right there, boiling, so that we can blanch our cabbage and get it put in the freezer. So that way, when we need fresh cabbage, we got us some fresh cabbage. I ain't gonna say we homesteading, but we doing something. We doing something close to it. We providing just a little bit of food for ourselves, just to knock a little bit off of a grocery bill. But it's rewarding to know that you can actually grow food. And it all starts with some dirt, a pack of seeds, and an idea, and a will to get out and go do it. And that's all it is. So let me take a break real quick, and I'll be back with y'all. A little small freezer on the way, because in my prepping phase, in my trying to be prepared phase, I wanted a freezer to just do our vegetables, you know, because we all have those big freezers and you got everything in it, meat, frozen foods, bread, or whatever you may have. And so I just wanted one just for fresh vegetables. So that way we can go in, grab, and be finished with it. So that's what it looks like. Really cute. Just enough for one person. And I'll do another one. And it needs to be good too, for, like I said, because I'm the only one. And it looks like it's actually enough for me like to have dinner and then take what's left over to work for lunch the next day. My daughter was actually in here tasting it, and I hadn't done anything to the cabbage except blanch it. And she was just sitting here just going to town. And I was like, is it good? And she was like, yes. And I was like, okay, that's good, because that means it's something that we can just, I told her, so you just put some seasoning on it and warm it up, and you should be good to go. But what I'm going to do, let me press some of the air out of this one. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to use this little machine my husband found. I think he got it from Amazon, Temu, TikTok shop, I don't know. With these little Mylar bags, you can actually seal them up. So you just line it up. And it's just like the seal type thing you get from the store. And it has a little light on the side. You just keep it down as long as the light is on. Once the light goes off, it's sealed. So now I can take this and stick it in the freezer. And it'll be fresh. So, let's do another one. So this is the way that we're gonna be storing our fresh food, because we have so much of it growing. But I'm gonna go ahead on and finish this, and I'll come back and I'll show you the end results. So I was able to do 5 small bags of cabbage, which is going to work out very well for me. Because like I keep saying, it's just me who really eats the cabbage. But tomorrow, because it is the Christmas week, and we picked so many peppers, I'm going to make some jalapeno jelly. I found out about jalapeno jelly several years ago, and I made some. I knew it's good. And my husband was eating some yesterday, and I was like, are you still eating that jelly? He was like, yeah. I said, that stuff is only be good for about a year. And he was like, nope, it's still good. So when we picked the jalapenos today, I was like, well, how much jelly do you have? Because we were actually going to give the jalapenos away. And he goes, this was the last jar. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll come in from work tomorrow and make my husband some jalapeno jelly. And I will video that. It's really simple. It's not really a time-consuming process. I think the longest process of it is actually just sterilizing the jars. But I will come in tomorrow evening and do that, and I'll video it. But, you know, in the words of my brother, Super's Garden, to be continued.